YouTube, we are back on our series of reacting to every prospect in the entire NBA draft. As you guys know, this is part 4. We're going to be reacting to Bleacher Report's NBA 2025 mock draft of the top prospects. We will be reacting to prospects 16 through 20. Make sure you guys check out part 1, 2, and 3 if you guys haven't already. We went all the way from 1 to 15. As you guys know, I am a total draft noob. I don't watch college. I don't watch overseas stuff. And so this is a series dedicated to me learning about all these prospects. And what we're going to do here is from Will Riley, number 16, all the way to the 20th prospect. We're going to go one by one through Bleacher Report's player comparisons and their little notes here for each player. And then we're going to watch some of their highlights and react to them with you guys. And I'm going to give my thoughts on each prospect and what I think about them and their games. And so I am super excited to get into part 4. I always look forward to making these videos. And of course, if you guys want to see part 5, all you got to do is break the like goal, which is 30 likes on this video. If this video breaks 30 likes, I will 100% do prospects number 21 to 25. And hopefully we can just keep going until we hit prospect 60. A little secret I'm going to let you in on though, if you don't get 30 likes, you know, if it's like 20 or 25, I'm still going to make part 5. Don't worry about that, but it would really be appreciated if you could leave a like. That's how I know you want to see more videos in the series. And let's just get right into it, folks. Let's check out Will Riley and all these other prospects for part 4 of the series. And starting with Will Riley, I see a Team Canada jersey, so I'm assuming, yeah, nationality Canada. Pro comparison, Kelly Oubre Jr. and Kayshawn George. So I'm guessing he's going to be a freak athlete wing. Yep, shooting guard, small forward, 6'8", 180. That's really good size for a wing. Coming off of 3 impressive EYBL sessions with UPlay. I don't know any of those terms, so don't hold me to that. 21.9 points. Wow, that is some good performances there. Will Riley committed to Illinois and reclassified to play college basketball in 2024, making himself eligible for the 2025 draft. Wow, okay. So he's 18 years old and now he's at Illinois. So hopefully when we watch the highlights, we'll get some Illinois highlights up there. At 6'8", he's a crafty shot maker with the ability to improvise or counter into difficult jumpers and floaters. Despite an underwhelming frame, minimal length, and limited explosion, he finds ways to get to his spots. Now, this is something here that doesn't sound a whole lot like Kelly Oubre, but I digress. Riley should be on most NBA teams' radars after some impressive moments through Nike Hoop Summit Week. And so I'm excited to see some Will Riley highlights. I like these long, versatile offensive wings. It sounds impressive to me, and I can't wait to watch the highlights. Hopefully at Illinois. Let's get into it. All right, so here we have a game versus Alabama, and Alabama is actually ranked number 8 in the country here. And so, you know, this is a good example of competition, so we'll be able to get to see a full picture of him versus good comp. 18 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. That sounds like a great game. I'm excited to watch this. Number 7 here, I believe, is Will Riley. And, you know, if the video looks a little strange and not like a video you've seen before, that's because I had to put some overlays on it to not get copyrighted. I do apologize for that if it looks grainy or, you know, just some stuff in the way of the video making it a little bit clunky or the colors are weird. It's because I don't want to get copyrighted. It's happened before in this series and I'm trying to avoid it for you guys so I don't have to cut out parts of the video. That's no good. So without further ado, let's check out Will Riley. And also one more thing, the sound will be off for these highlights. And so here he is on a pick and roll. He's going to go right. Has an opportunity to play make for the center here. Could be a lob. That's a good take. He did get fouled. Missed both free throws. Not a good start here for Will Riley, but he did have a good take and drive off this pick and roll. There's actually a lot of help on him. It appears they have scouted extensively for Will Riley. Again, he's a little light. You know, he's 18 years old. He has a slight frame, like they said, and I could definitely see that in this take, but it is a fluid take. That's a good way to go up for that board offensively. Gets in a little position behind the big and skies up for it and ends up, you know, staying in the play. Here he is operating in the middle of the floor here as potentially a facilitator, and he's going to pass it out. Catch and shoot, no, makes a miss. Does a little sidestep move. That's a good sidestep. You know, he sees this closeout is actually really good by the big, and he's not going to be able to get this up over the big. Nice sidestep. Gets the defender off balance and follows through nicely on that shot. I mean, he's got good length to be able to get it up over a lot of players. It's just a good shot, you know, on the move a little bit, and that's a difficult shot to make, and he makes it. Here he is staying in the play. Good offensive rebound. I mean, watch this. Stays in the play. Frankly, outworks this offensive player here. Gets in front of him. There's nobody boxing out. These guys got to do a better job of boxing out on Alabama, and he just takes advantage and, follows through and, finishes at the rim. That's a good way to stay in the play, good effort. When you're not shooting well, it's always important to try to impact the game in different ways, and one of the ways you can do that is, fighting for rebounds, loose balls, hustle plays, right? That'll get you back in the rhythm, get you back in the flow of the game, and it'll impact your team in a positive way when you're not shooting well. And so for scorers, that's really important to do. Looks like he already knows that. Another offensive rebound, I'm guessing. Yeah, listen, these guards for Alabama are just not, they're just not boxing out, and he's just outworking them a little bit, and he gets the tough finish there through a couple bodies. This is a big, and I would imagine a wing, and this is a strong finish. This is an effort play that, like I said, it's not your night shooting, and you find another way to impact the game. It's a nice job. Nice shot off the catch and shoot here. This is NBA caliber range. Over the defender's outstretched arm. A little bit of a smaller defender. He's late closing out, and it just gets that shot off nicely, confidently. Another thing for shooters, this is a good indicator that he has good confidence and mental toughness, because like we said earlier, with the hustle plays and the offensive rebounds, finding other ways to impact the game, but also staying ready to shoot and having a short memory. That's a good sign for a shooter, is he didn't, try to drive into the lane and attack the closeout, because the shot was there, and even though he hasn't been knocking them down, he makes the right play, and he's rewarded with it going in. I mean, he didn't lose any confidence, and so he has a short memory, which is, it's a good thing for a shooter to have, and you always like to see that. We talk a lot about physical traits and all that stuff, but it's, that stuff is not really the most important thing if you can't get your mentality right, and so we've seen that with some players like Ben Simmons, and so I really like what I'm seeing so far. Good off-ball movement, way to, find the open space. This looks like a zone to me for the defense, and he finds the corner. This is an IQ play. Watch, off the ball. Number 3 here commits to the drive with, just totally leaves Will Riley open, and he knocks down the corner 3 off good, IQ recognition, finds the space in the zone, sits down, gets the pass, and just hits the open shot. That's a nice off-ball play right there, and a good shot. Another catch and shoot, he gets fouled. Yeah, I like his off-ball movement so far. It's been pretty consistent. It appears that he's always trying to find the open space, and spacing isn't just shooting. A lot of times it's the way you move off the ball and where you position yourself on the court as an off-ball player for your teammates. That has a lot to do with spacing, and so he's doing a really nice job of that, in my opinion. So this time he knocks down the free throw and actually misses the second one. Something he's gonna have to work on. Okay, so here he is in transition. He's got good quickness, in my opinion, and long strides. He's a long player. He's actually gonna finish this at the rim, and unfortunately his teammate decided to interfere with the basket, and so he didn't end up getting that finish, but this was a solid transition take and drive and good control. He looked in control the whole time, which is important to watch for on young drivers, and he was just determined to get this in. Actually, this ball would have went in, and it's not his fault that it didn't count, but it would have counted if 21 didn't interfere with that basket. Okay, so here he is on a high pick and roll on the right wing, and he's got this defender in jail. Basically takes a nice, really nice gather right there. Watch this, big long gather stride, takes another step, and that's a difficult shot in my opinion. I mean, it's not necessarily a layup, and it's not necessarily a straight on floater. I mean, this is a difficult shot, and he uses good English and spin on the basketball and soft feathery touch to have that roll around the way it did. Uses the backboard. The backboard is your friend, and that's just a really tough shot. Off a pick and roll, this time playmaking for others. That's a good throw ahead pass over the 2 pick and roll defenders, gets the big involved, and nice pass. Good operation of the pick and roll, and so he's putting on a lot of pick and roll situations. This time he's going to make another pass. That one not so great. I think he probably could have risen up for a nice little floater there. Yeah, that's kind of a dangerous pass. Ends up working out. The big's gonna, big gets fouled. Another transition take. Let's see what happens. Stumbles a little bit out of control, but gets the ball to the shooter and it goes in. And so that's an assist either way, but a little bit out of control on that drive. This time he's driving left. Good dump in under the basket to the big. This is a nice play. Good recognition that he's, got this help defender going up to block his shot, and he just smooth, little pass under the basket. Quick and easy, right through the 2 defenders. That's a nice pass. Another assist. Good assist right there. So here's some defense. I think this is an important thing to watch as well. We don't really get to see that often for these videos. He's in jail right now. This ball handler has him right behind, and actually the ball handler does a nice job of keeping it that way. But I will say he does a nice job of staying into the play. And a lot of times defensively for perimeter guys, you think about perimeter defense, you think about stay in front of the ball handler, right? In the NBA, that's just really not how it works. You know, there's a very good chance on any given play that some of the best perimeter defenders aren't going to be able to stay in front of the ball handler. With how fast and how smart these offenses are and how skilled these offensive ball handlers are, it's not even so much about staying in front of your one-on-one matchup on any given play as it used to be, right? Perimeter defense to me nowadays has a lot more to do with staying in the play. And that could mean a lot of different things. It could mean when you get put in jail like this, you keep fighting through the play and maybe you get a block from behind. Maybe you contest the shot from behind, or maybe the player takes a step back here and now you're back in the play all of a sudden. You can use that long arm to get a hand up. Like, it's a lot to do with just staying in the play. And he does a nice job of this here, even though the player finishes on this play. And so that's just a really nice job. He's going to be defending a pick and roll here. He just has to go under the screen, but he's long enough on this guard to where it doesn't really matter. He could get this hand up, no problem. This time he decides to go over the screen. Good screen by number 4 there. But he got kind of pushed out of the way on that screen, and that's something he's going to have to work with in the weight room. You know what I mean? Like, he's just not bulky enough to be able to, you know, fight over a tough screen, and he's going to get pushed around a little bit, in my opinion, until he gets a little bit heavier. But it's good effort, you know, either way. I think he's showing good effort on the defensive end. So this is the exact thing I'm talking about. You know, while this isn't a great result here, back it up a little bit. While this isn't a great result, in my opinion, you know, the ball handler is just pretty skilled, and he gets blown by on this drive. He's got to stay. You know, this is a situation where he probably should have stayed in front of this ball handler here. You know, this is a good move. He overplays the closeout, aggressive closeout, and now this player has a free lane basically. But again, he stays in this play, keeps an arm's length on the ball handler, and disrupts the shot, and actually a good contest on this finish. And again, it was a good finish. It was a strong finish, but he found a way to impact the shot even after getting blown by. That's a good defensive skill set that long wing players usually possess in the NBA. That's one of the reasons long wing defenders are so coveted, in my opinion, on the perimeter. So overall, Will Riley, I like him as a prospect. I think he has good upside on both ends. You know, I think he's a little bit raw and unpolished on really both ends of the floor, and he has some technique to learn, but I do like his physical traits and his length. And I think if he could be a little bit more consistent on both ends of the floor with a little bit more polish and a little bit more bulk, he could actually be a very, very solid NBA wing. You know, I don't know exactly what his ceiling is offensively, but I think a Kelly Oubre type of ceiling makes a lot of sense for this player. You know, solid defender with good length, gets in passing lanes, and is a switchable defender with a lot of versatility. Good guard wings, ball handlers, but also on the offensive end is capable of shot making and a little bit of one-on-one work, right? And so hopefully that does pan out for this player. But I like the player. I like the prospect. I think there's a lot to like about Will Riley. And I think in this area, like late first round or mid first round, actually makes a lot of sense for Will Riley and what type of player he is. All right, folks, I am actually recording this on a different day, and so if the lighting looks a little different than the beginning of the video, that's why, and this will most likely be the recording for the rest of the video as well. So number 17 ranked prospect, Kanon Catchings to the San Antonio Spurs via the Hawks, and another BYU prospect and another wing actually. And so this is kind of interesting here. BYU's got to be pretty good, right? I'm imagining, with Igor Demon, who was one of my favorite prospects we've reacted to so far. Easily one of the best prospects in this draft, in my opinion, is Igor Demon. Now we have Kanon Catchings. He is a 6'9" small forward, no weight listed, 19 years old. Pro comparison, Trey Murphy III. So he could be a shooter with some defensive upside, is what I would guess for a Trey Murphy comp. The preseason hype looked valid after Kanon Catchings made 8 of 10 shots in BYU's first exhibition game. He's going to instantly pop with that coveted, easy fit combination of big wing size, shot making, and athleticism around the rim. That sounds like a great prospect to me. You know, big wing size is amazing, especially with shot making and athleticism. That's crazy. Whether he's able to really climb boards will come down to consistency and ability to flash more off of the dribble, which, you know, if he's going to be an off-ball role player with a lot of shooting upside, doesn't necessarily need to create off the dribble consistently, in my opinion, but we'll have to see, especially if he plays defense. But at 6'9" with perimeter skill and shooting stroke that looks very believable, scouts should quickly see a surefire pro prospect and relevant name in 25. I like everything I'm reading about Mr. Catchings here, and I'm excited to get into his tape from BYU. You just can't, again, it cannot be understated how valuable big wings are that can shoot. I mean, it's just unbelievably valuable in the NBA. So let's check out Kanon Catchings at BYU and see what all the hype's about, folks. So this is a game against Central Arkansas, and this is a very short tape. You know, I gotta say, Drake Powell is one of my favorite prospects in this draft, and the type of player that Drake Powell is, a wing with shooting touch, with size and athleticism. I just love these types of players, and so I already think I'm gonna like Mr. Kanon Catchings BYU highlights here against Central Arkansas. So yeah, good size. I can already see what they're talking about here. This is a really big size wing. This guy could play 4 or 3 in my opinion. This is the type of size you'd see from a 4, you know, a long athletic 4. Let's see, he's got good shooting form in my opinion. That was a really nice jump shot. You know, works off the ball, finds some space, and he's going to be able to get that shot off over, you know, a variety of NBA defenders in my opinion. See some defensive highlight film here. Oh my goodness, what a great block that was. Let's watch this again. So he decides to leave his man. This player's got tunnel vision. He's already getting doubled, and you know, Catchings comes over, recognize good awareness. He just doesn't allow any space for this player to get this shot off, and ends up with a fantastic result of a block shot on a jump shot. When he wasn't even, you know, the defender in this play. And I would imagine that highlight alone is going to make scouts very intrigued. This is a really good help defense highlight. And, you know, to be able to get into the play when you're not even supposed to be, it just went above and beyond on this play is what I'm saying. That is an excellent defensive play. In the corner. Great finish. He really got up there. Watch this. This is Demon throwing the pass. And he got up there, folks. He is way, you know, above the rim, and it finishes nicely off of that back cut. And just a, you know, good pass from Demon, but, you know, a good recognition of the defense. You know, this is a zone defense, and he just, you know, slips right by. More athletic than the help defender there, and, you know, gets an easy slam. I mean, that's a great way to work off the ball. Another one here. This might have been the same highlight, I'm not sure. Don't think so, though. Great back cut, great finish. He is very athletic. I like the athleticism displayed so far by Catchings. I think he's going to be a really good prospect. Okay, let's watch this. On the move. That is a difficult shot, folks. And where did he shoot this from? Yeah, I mean, you're getting very close to NBA range right there. It might be a classic Kevin Durant foot on the line type of 3. But to make this shot, you know, pull up without even hesitating off of the movement, off of the off-ball screen, defender goes way under the screen, and he absolutely makes you pay. I mean, this is a great shot with soft touch. I mean, it's a tough shot to hit, folks. I'm seeing a lot of things I like. He works off the ball well. You know, in this situation, he has an opportunity to either try to get a lob finish, or he can work in space for his teammates, work his way to the corner there, and he is going to be really good in the dunker spot. You know, this is where he's playing this, you know, so far. They're just making absolute quick work of this zone, you know, throughout this highlight reel, and goes out from the dunker spot to the 3. You just can't contest that with his length. Just a great shot. I mean, he has got good soft touch and good shooting form, very repeatable shooting form. Another catch and shoot, but this time on the move again. I mean, these are tough shots, folks. You know, on the move is a lot more, you know, difficult. He's done 2 on the move, you know, going left shots that he has made from the 3-point line off of catches. And, you know, this is a dynamic type of shooter, in my opinion, that has good length. And so you have to be a little bit more careful with your contests, and you got to play a little bit closer to him. And he's an athlete. And so I love the defensive player. Maybe another defensive play here. Good way to stay in front of the ball handler. It's going to be a rip. But watch how he, you know, they're in a full court kind of press. Watch how he just, you know, moves his hips, stays in front of the ball handler. He doesn't even, you know, over gamble with this steal. It's just a good use of his length and poking that ball free. It's just a great play defensively. Another, oh my goodness. Okay, that's a great defensive play. I mean, he's got a lot of defensive instincts. That's a fantastic block. That is a special type of block, folks. I am already sold on Kanon Catchings. What a game from him, and what a display of skills. That is a great tape of one game. I mean, there's so much you can work with as an NBA coach, in my opinion, in this highlight reel. A big wing with size, athleticism, and shooting touch, and defensive instincts and playmaking ability. I mean, there's just no way this player isn't going to be, you know, top 20, top 15. I mean, he's a special type of wing talent prospect, in my opinion. So I love Kanon Catchings Catchings a little bit more, of an athlete than some of the wings we've seen, and I like some of the wings we've seen, but, as an off-ball wing with great size, athleticism, and shot making, this is one of the best we've seen so far in the draft, not even a question. Now, at number 18, we have the San Antonio Spurs again via the Chicago Bulls, and we have Hugo Gonzalez Pena out of Real Madrid. Okay, so this is, a pro overseas team, and he is a small forward, probably a wing with 6'7", weight unlisted size, 18 years old. So, actually, I got a lot of feedback on part 3 of the series. Thank you guys so much for all the feedback on Ben Saraf, because I didn't even know that Ben Saraf had been playing overseas, professional basketball since he was like 16 or 15. He is an exceptional player over there, and I had no idea. So thank you guys for filling me in on that. And so please let me know about Hugo Gonzalez Pena if you guys have any intel on him, his overseas career so far. But he's 18, and you have to imagine if he's this highly ranked of a prospect. And for Real Madrid, I would think that he might have been playing since 16 or so. While Hugo Gonzalez Pena hasn't gotten much burn in EuroLeague, he's had some so maybe not had some productive minutes so far in ACB play. I don't know what that is. Please let me know. His role is obviously much different with Real Madrid than it was for Spain's under 18 team over the summer, where he averaged 21 points in the European Championships. That is incredible for an under 18 team. He was playing like that in this role. Scouts get to see his impressive physical tools and motor at both ends. They'll want to see more accurate shooting though. Okay, so interesting. In FIBA and ANGT, I don't know what ANGT is, we've seen Gonzalez's improving creation and tough shot making with a high usage and green light. Still at a baseline, he currently adds the most value with his rim pressure, finishing, and competitive defense. This is a very interesting prospect. We haven't really seen a player quite like this yet in this draft class, so I'm getting the vibe that, also Jonathan Kuminga pro comparison is awesome. Talk about rim pressure. I mean, he is one of the best in the league in that regard for young players with good size that can get to the rim and finish and provide a lot of rim pressure for Golden State. So this is a very interesting skill set, especially at his size and age. In physical tools, motor at both ends, it could be a really good defender is what I'm seeing here, and maybe a more accurate shooting is what we could expect for him to improve on. But other than that, this is very, very intriguing. I really want to see this prospect. I'm excited to watch the tape on him because there's a lot in there that I like and a lot I'm curious about, right? So let's get into it. Hugo Gonzalez Pena, let's see if we can get some Real Madrid footage here. Okay, so hopefully this video works out well for a highlight reel. This is Hugo Gonzalez Pena, Real Madrid 2024 ANGT Finals MVP highlight. So apparently he was the ANGT Finals MVP, which I like the sound of it. But again, please let me know. Okay, so I can see down here, Adidas Next Generation Tournament. Okay, so I'm imagining this is for young players with, good high upside potential for future basketball endeavors, and a tournament Adidas has put together, I would imagine. Please let me know if you can still the significance of this and what exactly this tournament entails and what it showcases. What are the kind of guidelines? Is it under 21? Is it under 18? Please let me know. Okay, so he is number 10 down here. This is a big kid. They said 6'7", big frame, big shoulders. In my opinion, he's got an NBA body already, and so this is kind of interesting. He looks like an NBA wing. We haven't gotten the measurements or the weight yet, but this looks like, a quick release on the catch and shoot. They said he struggles with consistency from shooting. He knocks that one down. So, hopefully as time goes on, he just, finds a way to hit more consistent shots and stuff like that. But already I like what I'm seeing. Okay, that's good athleticism. He dunks it off of 1 foot. Being able to dunk off of 1 foot is something that scouts look for in the NBA. If you have to load up and take quite a significant amount of time to get the highest potential vertical that you can, it's just going to be more difficult to finish in the NBA. And so scouts really like players that can load up and jump high off of 1 foot. And so that was kind of an example there. And he did that kind of nonchalantly as well. So I would imagine this guy has some hops if he's able to do that as, that casually. Nice little one-handed dunk off of the break. Okay, so off of some movement, this is an off-ball screen. He's the off-ball player, and little DHO action. Let's see what he does. Breaks down. Wow, that's a nice dribble. He is quick, and he has got some athleticism, some bounce to him. Look at this, folks. Look how quick he gets up there. That's a really good move. Nice little crossover. This is a longer player. This is the big in this situation that he has a mismatch on, and he's just going to blow by him. It's a really nice finish and tough angle for that big to get to. But honestly, this is a really good NBA caliber move. They talk about rim pressure. They talk about athleticism. I like what I'm seeing so far. This guy's an athlete, in my opinion. That kind of stuff will translate. If he can shoot a little bit more consistently, That's a nice ball handling showcase. You know, I think that might have been a travel, and he could have kicked it to the corner. Realistically, he probably should have. Did the ball get knocked out of his hand? This is a nice behind the back. You know, you'd like to see him. Hold on, I got to see this one more time. Make sure. Okay, maybe the ball got knocked out of his hand and that's why it wasn't a travel or an up and down. He had open teammates. You know, maybe you'd like to see him swing this to the corner, find the open guy, but he stays in attack mode, stays aggressive, gets the N1. And so you're potentially getting 3 points out of that anyway, but that's a strong take and good use of handles. And for a player of his size and his strength that it appears he has, that is a very good, encouraging sign for NBA rim pressure, right? Here he is on the post, backing down. Good footwork. And good feed. I mean, he sees the cutter here. Watch this. Nice little dump pass underneath the basket and good use of footwork and drawing a defender in, recognizing it immediately and kicking to the open cutter. This is a great block. He really gets up there. I'm telling you, off of 1 foot, I believe this jump was as well. It was off 2 feet, but man, he got up there. He's long. He is aggressive. I mean, that's a good shot. That's a good way to play through the contact, hang in there. He's a strong kid. I mean, there's no question about it. His strength is already really good. He's going to be tough to stop in transition. Raises up over the defender with one hand and knocks it through. I'm telling you, if this guy could shoot consistently, I mean, he might be a lottery pick. There's a lot to like about this prospect in terms of physical traits, like they said. In my opinion, he's got some good bounce and athleticism to him. He's got good length, high motor, and defensive upside. And so this is just one of those players, there's ton of them in the NBA. You're like, if you could just shoot consistent catch and shoots, 36%, 3 or 4 attempts a game, I mean, you would be so much more valuable as a player. This is an example of this in my opinion, but he's only 18 and there's room to grow. He's operating a lot of, pick and rolls as a ball handler. He's getting doubled here. Nice swing pass. Finds the open teammate, knocks it through. Just good IQ on that. He just comes flying around this ball screen and rises up, and he's got a little bit of a low release, and so that maybe that's something he could work on, but he is a tall player. He's going to need a little bit more space to get these shots off. If there was a hand where my mouse is right now, he cannot get this shot off. Great shot, rises up with confidence, and again, the stroke looks okay to me. Again, maybe you'd like to see a little bit higher of a release given his length. More difficult to block, and you could get more space to knock it through. He is a confident player that's aggressive. That is showing through this highlight reel. This is a situation where in the NBA, you're expected to make this pass, in my opinion, if you're not Steph Curry or someone like Steph Curry. And, over the double team and over the defender's arm, he knocks it through. It's a great shot. Whoa, okay, that was really nice. Watch this off an offensive rebound, gets to tap in. That is good motor. They're talking about his motor. This is great motor. Just following the teammate's shot and fighting for position underneath the basket and finding a way to get his hand to that basketball. And a soft touch. That's Nolan Traore down here. That's pretty cool. I think, right? Yeah, it sure is. It sure is. Cool. That's a great play that, again, scouts love this kind of stuff. We saw a lot of this from Kanon Catchings, who is a very high motor player to me and has a lot of these kind of fighting for loose ball, high motor kind of stuff to him as well. And so I love this play right here. That's a tough take and a tough finish. That is an NBA move. Watch this crossover. It's a quick, decisive crossover. Gets the defender off balance, and now he's got a foot race to the basket. I mean, this is just a tough angle for the defender. Plays through the contact, strong finish. Honestly, the defender did a good job of staying in this play. Watch this. Gets a hand up all the way to this point. This is just an easy kind of scoop layup. You have to contort a little bit for it if you are Gonzalez Pena, but at the end of the day, this is a makeable NBA. This is all the space you're going to get in the NBA, right? It's not going to be wide open layups or dunks most of the time. You're going to have this amount of space to operate, and so that's a tough finish. Okay, so off-ball screen. This is a catch and shoot. A little bit of a floppy action if you've ever played 2K. Nice shot. That's NBA range right there. Definitely NBA range, knocks it down, confident, no hesitation, steps into it off of an inbound. And I mean, he's got good agility and quickness. He's quick for his size. I mean, watch this move right here. This off-ball player's, caught napping a little bit, but watch this. He just totally skates by him with that quick little, misdirection. Off of 1 foot. I mean, he's quick and nimble, and he's gonna get this finish. I mean, that's great off-ball movement. This is stuff you'd see from the Warriors. Good pass by 15, but honestly, just a great way to slither around the defender and to get that to go. That's a tough, Euro in transition. Watch this. Bang, bang, and, gets the righty scoop. Nice long finish there. Good use of the length. Here he is. Getting, a little bit of a double. Settles in. Another show and hedge off the screen. He's got an open corner teammate. Yep, that's what I would have done. Nice pass. Good recognition of the defense. Way to not have tunnel vision on that one and make the right play. That was a good IQ play. I love this prospect. There's so much versatility in here. If he can unlock a consistent jump shot, another screen, he shoots that one. It went in, but man, that was a tough, difficult shot. And good, honestly, great job by the defender here, number one, to not over contest, because if he puts a hand up here and kind of jumps to block this shot, it's gonna be a foul, like 100%. Clutches in midair and still makes it off balance. That's a great shot. Big time shot in the game too, if you watch the score here. Here's some defense. Good deflection. Let's see if he finishes this in transition. I mean, that's a strong finish. I mean, he clearly moves zero out of the way. That's actually Traore under the paint. Honestly, not a terrible job by Traore. Kind of a bad turnover. I don't think you could be too mad at Traore here. He's just not strong enough and as big as Gonzalez Pena. That's a really nice finish in transition and good way to get the hand on the basketball, deflection, and just get out there and run and finish through the contact. It's just a great play. This is a player I'm rooting for. If he could just get that jump shot down. I mean, we saw some nice shots in that game. I don't even have to wonder why he won that MVP. That was a great performance from him. So much stuff to like on both ends of the floor. There was, decision making in there that I liked. There is good physical traits, again, like they talked about in this article. BR was right on the money with this one. Rim pressure, skill, and strength around the basket is very impressive to me. He is more athletic than you'd think, and honestly just a good high upside prospect in my opinion. If you could get all the stuff maxed out, let's say this is a 2K my career, my player, right, and you have all these points that you're able to get up to, he's got a high ceiling. It's just about maxing out those strengths and working on those weaknesses like the shooting consistency. If he could shoot a league average 3 with a little bit higher of a release, maybe, there is no question this is a lottery pick in my opinion. This is a very coveted type of archetype, versatile wing with positional versatility with good defensive upside that can make a lot of things happen off of the dribble and has athleticism and high motor. There's no question it's a lottery pick with a consistent jumper. I love Hugo Gonzalez Pena. Definitely a player I'm going to keep my eye on. So we finally have another big man, a center out of Syracuse, Donavan Freeman. I've actually heard the name. 6'9", 205 center out of Syracuse. There have been a few bigs we've seen. Kanon Catchings out of Duke. Some impressive bigs, It'll be interesting to see Freeman here for Syracuse. 6'9", 205, a little bit undersized. Jonathan Isaac pro comparison, so he might have a lot of defensive versatility and athleticism. An expanding offensive skill set helped push Donnie Freeman. Okay, so he goes by Donnie, I would imagine, as a nickname up recruiting ranks and create scoring versatility that pops up under the NBA scouting lens. Interesting. So, offensive skill set and versatility, that's awesome. Syracuse's first exhibition game showed us the different ways he can get a bucket, with a 6'9" freshman able to hit from the post and mid-range, make pick and pop three. That's awesome to see from a modern big. Convert a face-up drive and earn a dunk in transition. That is a quite versatile skill set, I would say, for a big to have. They talk about face-up, they talk about drive, they talk about dunks, post, mid-range, pick and pop three. That's awesome versatility with excellent defensive tools as well. Amazing. You got to be able to play defense as a big these days. No question, it's the most important thing. Freeman should be a quick eye catcher, and project scouts should be willing to stay patient with. So maybe a little bit raw. Let's check out Donavan Freeman at Syracuse. Syracuse, one of the storied NCAA teams. You think about Carmelo Anthony, you think of Syracuse. One of my former Sixers, Michael Carter-Williams, who had an awesome rookie season. Let's check out Donavan Freeman, or Donnie, we should say. I like the versatility so far. This is awesome to see from a big prospect. Let's check it out. Okay, so this is his freshman debut that they were talking about in the BR article, and 5-star freshman. So he's highly recruited as a big, and Donnie Freeman. So let's check out Donnie Freeman. This is a long reel, 16.7 rebounds in 20 minutes. This is exactly what they're talking about. Versatile offensive skill set. Let's check it out. Not great video quality, so forgive me for that. I'm just working with what I have here, folks. I can't actually actually use the ACC network's videos. They will copyright me, so I have to go to these, re-upload channels for highlights, and some of them are really great. The channel Swish, shout out to him. This is a Swish video. I've been watching a lot of those on these reels, but sometimes the quality might not be ideal, and that's okay. It's not about the quality, it's about the prospect. That's a nice jump shot there. Nice, soft, smooth touch around that elbow. He just rises up, no hesitation. He makes the inbound. Good length. Nice little turnaround mid-range from the elbow. Got a loose ball. That is some juice there, folks. Watch this. That's some athleticism. Look where he takes off from. Almost the ACC logo. Rises up one-handed. Never had a doubt. He was never passing that basketball, nor should he with those hops. And quick glide steps. I mean, he's got good finesse in his strides. Nice and agile and nimble. For his size, you would imagine so. He's a little bit undersized for a center. He could be a 4, we'll have to see, but it appears he's a center. And that is good burst, through transition to convert that dunk. Excellent athleticism on that play. So here's Donnie Freeman off of a catch. This could be a DHO. He decides to take the defender to the basket. That is a good adjustment midair. Man, that's a strong move to the basket. Watch this. Little shimmy shake at the top of the key. Nothing too crazy, but watch this. Shimmy shake, couple dribbles, hop step, and just a tough finish through contact, adjust midair. He gets through that lane really quickly, man, especially for a big. I mean, that's really good finishing upside on that play. You'd like to see him bulk up a little bit. I know, again, all these prospects are super underdeveloped physically compared to what they'll be in 5 years in the NBA, for instance, but a nice high arc on his jump shots, I've noticed. This is a free throw, but watch this, gives the ball a chance. High arc on his free throw attempt, and gets it to roll. Good soft touch. That's a nice play. I mean, this is a pick and roll. It's actually not even a pick and roll. It's a little slip on this. It's not even really a screen. It's a slip or a ghost. And these defenders don't know what to do with him. He finds himself, wide open under the basket. Great catch. Good hands. We talk a lot. The scouts always are interested in bigs with good soft hands around the basket. Be able to catch those lobs, be able to catch these post finishes. It is very, very crucial for a big with offensive versatility to have these types of hands. Not the most accurate pass, and little lefty, snag, like you'd see from a wide receiver in football. Gathers it, goes up strong, finishes through a couple defenders softly over the rim, and nice hops to be able to get it over the rim there. Great finish and good hands on that play. That's something I really noticed. Here's a post up. Again, this is something I want to see Donnie Freeman bulk up a little bit, because he's getting pushed off his spot a little bit by this defender. Not necessarily too much, but in the NBA, imagine him going up against someone like Steven Adams, or someone with a lot of strength down low in that post. I mean, he's going to get pushed around in my opinion, but he's got to be able to bulk up a little bit if he's going to be a strong post finisher, strong post player. But in this scenario, he has an option to pass off of this action. The guard cuts, doesn't decide to pass it. He's got a decent enough shot at the basket, and that's a tough shot. Fade away. The footwork wasn't flawless. He could have gotten a little bit more square on this shot. The result is fantastic. I mean, it looked smooth. It looked nice coming out of his hands. He's got good soft touch, good hands, and, again, he could have been able to square up a little bit better on this fadeaway. Again, the result is flawless. So this is a 3-point attempt. Again, he's got good arc on his jump shot. If you're a shooter, you don't want to be shooting line drives. I mean, there's some cases Ray Allen shot line drives and they went in more than almost anyone, but generally as a shooter, you want to have a lot of arc on your shot. It gives the ball a lot of opportunities to get a nice bounce off of the rim, and they're also easier to get off when you have arc on your jump shot. And this is a nice little, I wouldn't say pick and pop, but 2-man action from the guard, spots up. It just knocks us down. It's a slow release. That is something to note, but again, very soft touch. Every jump shot we've seen him take has been back of the cup right through. I got no issues. I mean, this is an awesome offensive reel from Donnie Freeman. We've seen a face-up jumper on the first play off of the inbound. We've seen a post fadeaway, which went in. Well, again, footwork wasn't perfect, but it went in, and we saw a kind of a spot-up pick and pop-ish kind of 3. Went in, same way. We saw a free throw. There is a lot to like. We saw a transition dunk as well, and we saw great hands already. Another fast break. Here he is in the corner. That's a great no look to the cutter. I mean, that is That is good execution to a trailer, and a great pass to the open cutter. You gotta have soft hands and soft touch to make a pass like this, especially he gets it out pretty hot, but puts it above the defender's head so he can just go up with it, finish. And also the no look aspect was pretty fun. Here he's on a post up again, same spot, right block. Could be another post fade. Okay, so he stays in it, gets the offensive rebound. You know, defender wanted a charge, didn't get it. Fights through. You know, this is kind of a dangerous situation with the feet here. Watch this. Lands on the dude's foot. Defender was totally out of that play, but, you know, way undersized as well for that situation. But, you know, nice little turnaround move, a face-up move, and then finish on the play. Didn't go in the first time. Here he is on defense. Great block. Probably could have been a little bit better on the block out on the rebound. He could have been a little bit more aggressive there, in my opinion, not allowing number 2 to get that positioning, especially as the big. That's one of your responsibilities. And lets up the rebound, but makes up for it with the awesome block on that play. And that was actually off of the offensive rebound. I mean, it's just a nice block. They call that a goaltend? What happened there? They did. Oh my goodness. Or a foul? No, it was a goaltend. You gotta be kidding me. That's not a goaltend. Was it in the cylinder? I don't know about that one there, Chief. That looked like a clean block to me out of the cylinder. No, did they really call that a goaltend? Looked like a block to me. Either way, I like Donnie Freeman. I think he's got a lot of upside. I think he needs to fill out his frame a little bit bigger. He's already at a height disadvantage, but he's got good athleticism, good hands, and finesse to his entire game. You know, and honestly, I like the athleticism that I saw. He's quick in space. He moves well with the basketball, without the basketball. Could benefit from, you know, more weight room. You have to wonder with a lot of prospects if that'll ever happen. You know, I think he has the type of body where he could get a little bit bulkier. It's not a Chet Holmgren or a Victor Wembanyama type of situation. Those guys are going to have, just because of their, you know, frame, they're going to have a tough time filling out in the league. They might always be a little bit slimmer. You see a lot of success with players, certain players like that. You know, you don't have to be, not everybody has to be Shaq or Joel Embiid, you know, to be a good center, but, you know, rebounding could be a concern. We'll just have to see, but I like Donnie. I like the things that he's, you know, shown that he's good at. The offensive versatility is incredible. That drive that he had where he put it on the floor off the top of the key shimmy shake, he's got good soft touch on his jumpers. And I think just a versatile offensive skill set with a little more polish could be very, very lethal in the NBA. I like the prospect a lot. Another San Antonio Spurs. Is this the third straight San Antonio Spurs pick? Liam McNeeley. I've heard the name. This is another player I've seen off of the more kind of recent mock drafts, been mocked a lot higher. And so he's going to have big expectations for me because I have seen him in the top 10 in some of these mock drafts. And so I don't really know anything about him. I just know he's been a riser in some of these latest mocks. He is a small forward out of Connecticut. How about some of the players that have come out of that program? I mean, one of the big ones that comes to mind is Kemba Walker. I mean, he was just awesome back in the day. That was, you know, back when I still watched college basketball at that time. He was my favorite college player. Awesome, multi-all-star NBA career. Anyway, Uconn small forward, 6'7", 210 pounds. That's a really good size 3. You know, if he's going to be the 3, if he's going to be a wing, this is very incredible size. This is from a, you know, McDonald's All-American game, the picture. 19 years old, USA Keegan Murray pro comp, and so he's just probably a great shooter and quality defender. I'm guessing NBA teams should see an easy fit and appealing archetype with Liam McNeeley. He should look like one of the top freshman shooters. Okay, so great shooter. You know, we've seen some good shooters in this draft. Kanon Catchings comes to mind. Drake Powell was a really good shooter. We've seen a lot of shooters. Ace Bailey, another one who's going to go high in the draft, and he'll sell scouts further by scoring out of different sets, actions, and making IQ plays. This kind of sounds a little bit like Kanon Catchings to me. Plug and play figures to be a commonly used phrase to describe his game for Connecticut and eventually the NBA. So, you know, polish is what I'm seeing here. Good size, I talked about already, but shooting, you know, everybody could need more, you know, use more wing shooters in the league. Finishing efficiency inside the arc and defending with toughness will be keys to maximizing his draft stock. So I'm guessing if he's already risen up draft boards this much, you know, from number 20 to, again, I've seen him, you know, low end of top 10 and stuff like that. This could be something he's improved on. I'm excited. I got high expectations, high hopes for Liam McNeeley's highlights at Connecticut. I'm excited to check it out. Let's get into it, folks. Okay, so this is another Swish video. Shout out to Swish. This is Liam McNeeley, 20 points 20-point performance versus Colorado, November 26th, so just a couple weeks ago. Maui Invitational. We've seen this court in other prospects games, especially Drake Powell and that Michigan State. That was an amazing game, by the way. 20-point performance versus Colorado. So Colorado, that's a big school. I'm imagining this is good competition here. Uconn's always going to play tough comp. They're one of the best programs. But McNeeley, I'm excited to see his film. I believe he's down here in the corner. That's a great number to have if you're a shooter, let me tell you. And our first Uconn prospect, let's get into Liam McNeeley's film. Again, I have high expectations. That looked silky smooth, man. It's just so fluid. When you see a shooter that is just a shooter, I mean, there's just nothing like that ball coming. I mean, it's just different. It's hard to explain how it's different than another shooter who can make them go in consistently. But when you see one of these shooters that's just absolutely automatic, the feel of it and the fluidity of it is just so special. And I'm already seeing a lot of that from this just one catch and shoot jump shot. I mean, that's just so fluid, so silky smooth. It looked totally effortless shooting that basketball. That's the word for it. You know, the release was just totally effortless. So here he is down here. Coming off this floppy action. He's going to rise up and knock it down. I mean, that's a good recognition of what the defender in front of you is doing, what, you know, your options are. He could have made this pocket pass to the big. Potentially, he could have, you know, thrown it up for a lob, but decides to pull back and recognizes he gets both defenders off balance. Seven's basically out of the play, and the defender behind him is guarding the big. And so Seven's got actually good, he's not out of the play, he's got good length and makes this a tough shot actually for McNeeley. Not, you know, totally, but, you know, it gets a hand up and just so fluid, so smooth, pure stroke on McNeeley. Wide open for three. He's got to take that all day. I mean, it's just so effortless, man. Holy cow. This is the best shooter, arguably, that we've seen in this draft. I don't know if I've seen a shooter quite like this in this draft. Ace Bailey's going to be a great shooter, especially with his length and, you know, size. Kanon is going to be a really good shooter. We've seen some others, but man, this might be the best shooter we've seen so far. Correct me if I'm wrong. You know, he could be the best shooter that we've seen so far throughout this series. Another spot up, catch and shoot. It's just so effortless coming out of his hand. Look at that soft touch. I mean, this ball hits the back iron with good velocity on it, and it still finds a way to bounce so softly off of that back iron. You'd think this ball would go all the way up to where his ball is now on a rebound. It just bounces off like it has no momentum and just, you know, drops in. I mean, that's just quite, again, they talked about his explosiveness. It doesn't look great, if I'm being honest. His size is good enough to be a three, no question. You know, Luke Kennard comes to mind. He's, you know, a lefty, obviously, but a player absolutely money from the corner, from these spot ups, from these, you know, off the move actions with good size like that. I think he's a little bit, you know, maybe a little bit more dynamic, you know, from what I've read about Liam McNeeley as a all-around offensive player, but I mean, it just looks, I mean, that's NBA range. They've all been catch and shoot threes for the most part. Other than that play, he got fouled and the little mid-range elbow jumper. But you could say these are like boring highlights, whatever. Doesn't really show his skill set. That's fine. I don't need to see a lot more. This is translating to the NBA. There's no question about it, folks. The shooting is immaculate. Let me know down in the comment section if you got to this point in the video. Is Liam McNeeley the best shooter in the draft? He's got to be up there, right? I'm thinking of Kanon. There's some other good ones, Ace Bailey, but I don't know, man. Like, just pure shooter, not, you know, on ball creator, you know, hit shots. I'm talking just all things considered shooter. He's got to be one of the best, if not the best. This is good off ball movement from him. Finds the basketball, penetrates the paint. He's going to take some contact here and finish over the defender. That's good fundamental, that's good footwork, and good soft touch to get it up over the basket, and it rolls in. That's a nice little take there. He's not the kind of guy you're going to want to penetrate the paint, you know, touch the basketball inside the arc every possession. Like, you know, when it happens, it's a bonus, but man, is he potent as a shooter and scorer. Good finish, and then off of more off-ball movement, he moves off the ball well. He kind of, you know, takes his time and pace with it. You know, it's not always about flying around the screen as fast as you can. It's about getting the angles right and, you know, drawing the defenders where they need to be. It doesn't matter how fast or slow a lot of times. You know, sometimes slower is better. So you can take your time and really analyze it and use the correct, you know, footwork and movement off the ball. And I think that's, you know, a lot of what I'm seeing here. He would make a really good Golden State Warrior. Another good foul draw on this drive. Just total swipe of the arm there. Ball never had a chance to go in. Was still able to get that ball up through the contact. This is a free throw attempt. Silky smooth. Here he is defensively. under the basket. There's got to be an off. Okay, he's getting posted up, I would imagine. Nope. Off-ball movement. See him lock in defensively here. Yeah, you know, he isn't explosive and he isn't quick necessarily, but he uses his movement well. You know, another player that I think makes a good comparison in this regard is Jared McCain, who isn't an explosive athlete. He isn't the quickest guy in the world, but the movement he does put on the floor, it is always purposeful, and he positions himself very nicely defensively a lot of times. There's no wasted movement. There's just none of that. You know, he's just, every, you know, movement is calculated because it has to be when you're not as fast or quick as the guy you're guarding or the defender in front of you. And so I'm seeing a lot of that. Let's see if he can get something for a game winner or something like that. So they're going to call a timeout. 5.9 left. Uconn's not a great way to lose, but that was a good game, and honestly, a good performance from McNeeley. He's got to be just one of the most pure shooters in this draft, no question. I can see why, if he is rising the ranks, that, you know, I could see why, because you're just not going to find a shooter like this very often. There's only a few per draft. And so last year it was Jared McCain, it was Reed Shepherd, but of this size, I mean, you know, forwards that can shoot like this are rare. And while he might not be explosive, and while he might not be, you know, an all-NBA defender throughout his career, you know, it's hard to not look at a guy like this. They talk about plug and play, and consider for every team, you know, fit might not be an issue for a guy like this, because it's just a shooter. He's going to space the floor well for your other players if he competes defensively. And, you know, we saw a lot of drives. You know, we saw him, you know, use his body, position it correctly to where he was able to get fouls. He was able to finish through contact a couple times, but he's just absolutely money on those spot ups. And so plug and play makes a ton of sense. This is a guy I could easily see going top 14, top 10 in the lottery. No question. You know, definitely going to be on the thumbnail because this is a special type of shooter, in my opinion, Liam McNeeley. And let me know down in the comment section all I need to know about him. Is there something I'm missing with this highlight reel, or any highlight reel for that matter? They're just highlights. You know, they don't show the full thing. And so that's pretty much it. We went through 16 to 20. Next video, part 5, will be 21 to 25. Let me know down in the comment section any feedback you have on these prospects, any feedback you have on the videos. You know, do you know some stuff that I'm missing again on these players? Let me know down in the comments. Please leave a like on the video for part 5, 30 likes for part 5. Again, I'm going to let you guys in on this. If it's 20 likes, if it's, you know, 18 likes, I'm probably going to release part 5, but I am thinking about taking a little bit of a break on this series just for a week or two, just because I do feel like there is some fatigue on the channel with it. But this has been part 4 of the reacting to all NBA prospects series. I'm just learning so much. I feel like at this point, with all of the guys that we've looked at so far, you know, all the way from Cooper Flagg to Liam McNeeley at 20, I could probably make a mock draft of the draft order right now and tell you who should go where and who I would draft as each team in their situation. Like, I just feel like so much more informed about prospects in general, but this has just been so fun for me to learn with you guys, and I really am having a blast in this series. Like, for the first time since like 2012, I know about the draft class coming into the NBA, and I could tell you some things about it for each player that we've looked at, and it's just an awesome feeling to not be totally in the dark of, you know, who's going where. I don't, you know, for an example, for my Sixers, I follow the NBA and the Sixers so closely. I know everything going on within almost every team in the NBA at all times, for the most part, like the big things, right? I didn't even know who Jared McCain was until the Sixers took him on draft night. Like, I had no idea who he was. I had no idea about his game. I had to read everything about it after the Sixers took him. That's how little I know about these prospects every single season. And so, you know, as an NBA creator and an NBA enthusiast, it's just so fun for me to look at the next crop of guys coming into the league, that some of them could be really special, and I think some of them already are going to be really special, and one of them could be Liam McNeeley. Like, it's just so fun to learn with you guys. So please leave a like for part 5. I am going to take just a little bit of a break. You know, we're going to do some other stuff just for maybe a week, maybe not even a week. We'll have to see how this performs. Either way, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. You guys seem to enjoy these videos, and thank you for all the feedback on the Ben Seraph prospect. It meant a lot to me. I learned so much about him through the comments. And so if you have any insight on these players, let me know. Subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see, you know, part 5. Check out part 1, 2, and 3. Obviously, if you guys haven't seen that, you probably should have so far. And I'm excited to get into part 5. I can't wait for it. I love these recordings. It's so fun to learn. I'm just a, you know, NBA enthusiast and basketball enthusiast, right? And so I just love learning. So hopefully you guys have a fantastic rest of your day today. This has been part 4 of reacting to every prospect. I will catch you guys in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe, follow my Twitter, links down in the description. This is your boy D Haven. As always, peace.